As Putin's decision to invade Ukraine puts the world on high alert, lawmakers in Congress are weighing in on what extent the U.S. should get involved and how much assistance should be offered. Joining us right now is Congressman Bill Johnson from Ohio. First of all, a good morning to you. And second of all, what are your thoughts on this act of war?
Well, good morning, Adrienne. And, you know, it's a sad day for the world. I mean, we've seen yet another tyrant taking action against a freedom-loving people, against Western values, and unlike we've seen since World War II. So it is a sad day. But you know, today is not a day we can think about what could have been, should have been, would have been. Today, Americans and our freedom-loving allies must stick together if we're going to minimize the damage that has been that is being done here. Because in the early stages of a conflict like this, it's the most dangerous phase. It's the fog and friction of war, and a miscalculation can escalate it in a direction and to a magnitude that that no one is expecting. So. We've got to be very, very careful, but we can't just sit by and do nothing either.
You know, you're on the House Committee for Energy and Commerce. Oil prices already above $100 a barrel. A lot of people at home are thinking, okay, first COVID, now this. Like, what else can we deal with in the world? And inflation on top of all of that. What do you say to your constituents and others who are at home wondering what is going to happen to them?
Well, energy plays a major role, is a major factor in this entire ordeal. You know, the Russians get most of their revenue from the sale of oil and gas. And, you know, one of the many things that our allies and that the American government can do, we need to stop buying Russian energy resources immediately. Stop that flow of cash. Because the Germans buy it, other countries throughout Europe buy it, and we should begin, even Americans buy it, by the way, and we should immediately begin to increase our production here at home, restart the Keystone XL pipeline, release the ban or the pause on oil and gas development on public lands. Let's increase production here at home. And let's put the Russians on their heels where they get most of their revenue, which is the energy sector.
You know, more than 40 of your colleagues, as you know, signed a letter to President Biden reminding him he must receive authorization from Congress before sending in American troops for combat. Is your sense, is your intuition saying that this is going to escalate to the point where Americans will be on the ground fighting for Ukraine's independence?
Well, certainly we hope that it doesn't come to that point. I don't think the American people are in the mood right now to get involved in another protracted war. And again, what should have been, could have been, would have been, we can't think about that. But diplomacy has failed. And there are few options that we have right now. I mean, the Ukraine is not a NATO member nation. So we have no specific treaty, and everything that could have been done diplomatically, the opportunities for those actions have passed. But again, we can't do anything. The sanctions that are going to be placed on the Russians today have got to be big, and they've got to be meaningful. One of those sanctions that we should consider is eliminating the Russians' ability to conduct financial transactions in the international financial markets, restricting their ability to move money around, to receive payments and to make payments. Those are some of the things that have to be done, but we're a long way away yet from having to consider putting American troops on the ground. And I think what could lead to that, obviously, is that the Russians expand this operation to attack any of our NATO members or other nations throughout Europe that we have a treaty with. That would be a line that he better not cross.
Well, and there are concerns there. Lithuania declaring a state of emergency early this morning. And of course, there's been condemnation from all NATO partners because of this. But is there concern from lawmakers that this could actually become a war not just on Ukraine, but a cyber war. Is Putin hiding his cards, perhaps wanting to launch some type of attack on other countries to try to prove that sanctions don't mean anything to him?
Absolutely, Adrienne. And we must consider that this is a chess match. It's not a checker game. Whatever we do, Putin is going to do something else. And we've got to think 5, 7, 9, 11 moves down the chessboard before we do anything. But you can better believe the Russians have done it before. They've been building up to escalating their cyber capabilities. So I think we can anticipate that. So we've got to be very, very careful whatever actions that are taken. But you've also got to consider that with diplomacy having failed, the rest of the world is watching. The Chinese are watching in the Pacific. What's going to happen there? The Obama administration eliminated our ability to engage in a two-front conflict. Can you imagine where we would be today if trouble breaks out in the Pacific? I mean, if I'm China, I'm looking at a weak America right now where diplomacy has failed, and I'm considering my options on Taiwan. So this could blow out of proportion and escalate very, very quickly into a devastating global conflict.
Which that is a strong statement to think of this as a global war. Again, maybe not World War III, but as our Leland Vitter described as Cold War II. Besides the fact that the parties have not had unity at all between Republicans and Democrats, Republicans are split on how to deal with this conflict. How will your party come together in order to respond in unison effectively?
Well, I can tell you that I'm going to be calling for unity. I mean, this is a time when Americans have got to stand together. In our system of government, we have one commander in chief. Now, I disagree with President Biden on nearly 100% of his policies because they've been devastating. They've ruined the best economy that we've had in 50 years. We've got a border crisis. We've got a crime crisis. We've got an energy crisis. We've got an inflation crisis. But right now, Americans have got to stand together, toe to toe, to face down this tyrant in Europe, because this thing can get out of control very, very quickly. And I'm going to be urging my colleagues, let's have an adult conversation at the table in collaboration with the White House and the president. And we've got to be very careful what our next moves are.
From your lips to all of Capitol Hill's ears, I certainly hope that can happen for the sake of unity, not just here in America, not just in Ukraine, but everywhere. Congressman Bill Johnson, thank you so much for the generosity of your time. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.